In this episode, Rocket and Jonesy hunt for the famous creature known as Bigfoot. They also end up going to a Bigfoot Festival where they meet up with the author and the murder mystery investigator, Baumgratz. He shares a personal, possible Bigfoot sighting story. The story is very believable, even though he claims that he doesn't believe in the creature itself. Enjoy the ultimate 2-in-1 episode.
Hello everybody, welcome to the video. We got Rocket and Jonesy filming, and today we're going to a very special event called the Bigfoot Festival. And what we're going to be doing there is going to be interviewing some of the locals, checking out the area, and hopefully getting some Bigfoot stories before we go on our hunt. Ain't that right, Jonesy?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so let's go over to our ride.
The sheep
we're
squatch.
Fancy is done, Jonesy. We got a ride. And this ride is called the Sheep Squatch. And it's a truck, but it's a very fancy ride. And we are very gifted to get to go on this ride. Ain't that right, Jonesy?
That's very right.
Alright, come on, Jonesy. First of all, and we'll show you a little scenic video, and we'll pick up where we left off. Welcome to Squatch Town. This isn't what we were expecting. We're expecting more of a festival type area, but it's a complete town. So welcome to the Squatch Town. Viewing people from all over the place and to get their Squatch stories. Alright, so here we are at the Squatch Festival, and we're in line to attack the Squatch. People are next, as you can see, and we're next. Gavin, you're Jonesy, the Squatch.
Go up to it, man.
Get closer.
I can zoom in. What?
It's not a real Bigfoot. False alarm. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the video. This is a very special video, as I'm sure you've heard, and we're going to be actually hunting Bigfoot, which is kind of what we've been building up to all this season. Ain't that right, Jonesy?
Mm-hmm.
So we're setting up, and we're going to be keeping an eye out for the Bigfoot. This is a good area. It's kind of fieldy, as you can see. Got some taller grass, so it's really going to be a good episode, don't you think, Jonesy? All right, come on, Jonesy. We're going to go over here, and we're going to let off a few calls and try and get the Bigfoot over here. Alright, I saw it in the area, and I was like, Jonesy, let's pick up the camera, let's film, let's get it on camera, you know. So it's still around. Alright, now come with me, Jonesy. We're going to do some tree knocking. Alright guys, so as you can see, I got my professional tree whacker here. So as you can see, this stick doesn't seem to be making a very loud noise. But it's the frequency, Jonesy. It's all about the frequency. This has a loud vibration. Whoa, that the Bigfoot can actually hear with its hearing.
Does it have like super hearing?
No. Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, well, I thought.
Well,
okay.
actually, we don't know anything about the Bigfoot. I'm just hoping.
Oh.
Best possible scenario. but this is recommended. This stick is approved by the Bigfoot hunters. See, it's a nice rusty metal thing, but it's perfect for the situation being.
How long would you say the stick is, Rocket?
But can't you see, Jonesy? Look at this. It's that long. That's how
So
long
like
it is.
4'10".
It's this long, comes up the hair on me.
Okay.
So here we are, and we're kind of in the corner of the festival now. And as you can see, there's a little windmy thing. It's like a fire thing, I guess, and it also has a bench that you can sit on right next to the fire. So we're just kind of looking around, exploring the area. All right, so we're about to interview a guy that has encountered a squatch that has caused the disappearance of 2 children. Ain't that right, Jonesy?
Yep.
Jonesy, I'm talking.
I know.
But, all right, come on, Jonesy, over here.
Okay.
Over here, Jonesy.
Shut up.
All right, where is it? I think we missed it. Right here. All right, I'm in here with Jim Baumgratz, and he's gonna tell us the story of 2 children that disappeared after a possible Bigfoot event. So,
Possibly.
yeah.
Did you take a picture of the kids
Oh,
down
yeah.
here?
All right.
Yep.
Okay, those 2 boys disappeared in April of 1910. Not too far from here, actually. One in Lamont and then one in Ludlow. But it was within 3 hours apart on the same day, 1910. The boy on the maybe my left down here, he was fishing with 3 buddies, and this is how they described it. As I said, a large dark figure came out of the woods screaming, and 3 older boys, because they were 12 or 14, and little Eddie there, he was only 9. He couldn't keep up with them, so 3 older boys ran towards the lawn, towards the farm, and they turned around and they saw a guy grab little Eddie. And he went up to his parents, the whole factory up there, gas works, that they all went down. Long story short, over 1,000 people went through that area and never saw him again. So he was taken. You know, I don't know if it's a Bigfoot character or whatever, but some evil was in the woods. The same day, 13 miles away, the other little boy here, Michael Steffens, also disappeared fishing. He was fishing with one of his friends. His friend went ahead to a hole, and then when he walked back, the boy was gone, his little buddy. Now, he was younger, he was like 7. He thought maybe he went back to his farm, and so later on he went back to his friend's farm to say, can Michael come out and play? And they said he never came home, so they never found him either. Once the people that were up in Lamont looking for this little boy went up there then to Ludlow and looked all over, so neither boy has ever been found. So they're actually, I have written 5 books so far. Their stories are in these books.
Jones, did you see that Bigfoot over there?
I saw it.
Yeah, I think it went that way, so I think we can go over this way and cut it off. What do you think? All right, guys. So I think Jonesy, I'm gonna climb up this tree. What do you think? See if I can see if I can scout the Bigfoot.
Yeah, go ahead. Don't fall. Rocket, didn't you say we were supposed to be quiet?
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, you gotta be quiet. You don't want to scare off the Bigfoot. That'd be a bad thing. You don't want to frighten the Bigfoot with noise.
You see it?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. The apples are bloom, Jonesy. Saw an apple.
What about the Bigfoot, Rocket?
Oh, I don't see him anywhere. All right, let me get down.
Should you
Well,
call?
it's worth the experience. We know that they have to. Oh,
Rocket!
oh Jonesy. Oh, darn it.
What happened?
What do you mean what happened? You were watching it, Jonesy.
Well,
Darn it.
are you okay?
No, I'm not okay, Jonesy. Gosh. But the dang branch fell on me, hit my darn head. You're lucky I don't have a concussion off of that one.
I think it was a dead branch. I don't think it would give you a concussion.
Doesn't matter. Alright. Well,
Well, we didn't cut off the Bigfoot. Do you think we should call for him?
alright, Jonesy, I think if we set up down here and the weeds and the brush and things, I think that would be a good hiding spot. We crouch down, call for the Bigfoot. It could show up, and we'll go from there. How about that?
So, are we gonna try and catch the Bigfoot?
Yeah, Jonesy, what are we doing the dang hunt for in the first place, anyway?
Well, I don't know.
But what I'm working on now, I'll have to say, I'm not like a big believer in Bigfoot, but I have seen it. I would rationalize it. When I saw him, I was deer hunting, 16. I was in an area that I wasn't allowed in. It was a private property. And they sometimes did have security go around it, but very rarely. And I would go in there and I'd shoot some nice deer and I'd drag them out into state game lands. And I was hunting with my brother, and usually when we hunted, we whistled to each other so you didn't shoot each other. And something was whistling. So I thought it was my brother, so I whistled back. It answered me. I answered it back. And this has nothing to do with murder. I'm just giving you a little bit of Bigfoot story. So I started walking towards it, and out behind a tree came a figure. Walking on 2 feet, looking at me, covered with hair, and I just froze. I watched it go down over a hill. Now it's getting dark. I went over and watched it down the bottom of the hill, and there it went into a group of pine trees. Last I could see, I looked up and see. I saw it. I got the hell out of there. And then I never saw it again. I've been in that area since. Maybe a year later, I never went again. But my rationalization is it was the outlaw, that was in there to push deer. Because I really don't believe it. But it might be true. I don't know.
Jonesy, did you see that squatch?
I did
It
see it.
walked right up where I fell. It's going right up through there.
I hear him moving.
All right, hang on. I'm gonna move just a little bit up here, and we'll see if we can see him. Get a better angle. All right. Oh God, it's right up here. Jonesy, take cover. Right. Oh. Over here, Jonesy. Oh, God.
So anyways, I read all about true crime, murders, and I found a lot of missing people along the way too. Not only the boys, but I found about 100 people that have been missing since 1850 to the present day. A lot of them I could give a logical explanation of why they went missing, but this gentleman I can't. He's one of them. There's a handful of them. None of it making any sense. This guy, George Stevens, was 85 years old in 1964. He lived most of his life in Altoona, but he went to Potter County hunting every year since he was 10 years old, I guess. In 1964, he was 85. He just had open heart surgery. He had bad knees. He couldn't hear very well, and he couldn't walk. He had a cane. His buddies, his friend and one of his brothers went hunting. Happened to be Halloween. It was October 31st, 1964. they went in the woods, and they set him on a log. I have a picture of the stump. They set him on a stump and they hunted. And at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, his brother and his friend came back and talked to him on the stump. And he said, "Yep, everything's fine." They said, "Well, we're just going to take one more walk around the mountain and we'll be back." 4 o'clock they came back, and he wasn't there. And they thought, well, he couldn't have went far because they had to help him in the woods anyways. But they thought, well, maybe he had to go to the bathroom and he choked or something. So they went all around that hillside. They couldn't find him. They walked back to the car. Now it's 5 o'clock. It's starting to get dark in October. He wasn't there, so they shot their guns. So they think, well, if he's lost or something, they'll shoot. But they didn't hear nothing. No report. Which tells me he was dead already, but he wasn't on that hill. They went to state police, and firemen were called out, bloodhounds. The bloodhounds came out, and they went right to that stump. And so they didn't find no track away. And Boy Scouts were called in, a lot of volunteers, and for the next 3 years, wanted posters were at the local bars and sportsman's club for anybody deer hunting. The Little Moore's Run was like a very big deer hunting area to find him, and they never did. So, one thing, his gun wouldn't disintegrate, so that's out there yet. He had coins in his pocket, he had keys to the camp, he had shotgun shells, he had his hunting license, he had rubber boots, all that clothes, and nothing's been found of him since that day. So I don't know why. I can't give an explanation what happened to him. These ones I can kind of give you an idea of what happened, what I think happened, but none of these people have ever been found.
That's interesting.
So that's me. I'm in the Pennsylvania wilds is what I focus on. A lot of other weird stuff in the wilds that has nothing to do with murder. It's just little local legends. I'm not sure how much Bigfoot has been seen in this area. I don't know. Where I saw him was in Elk County. But I do have stories from this area. A lot of people don't know. Forest County here had a native elk herd. Okay. And then when the last ones were shot out, there's a kind of argument about when. But it would have been the 1870s. They restocked it in 1913, and they put a herd up here, north here of Marionville. By 1924, it was actually a pretty big herd. So there was where they're at today in Benazet, and there was animals here. There was a great big, it's called the Owl's Nest Fire. It's the biggest fire probably in the history of Pennsylvania. And Owl's Nest, that's up towards Highland, and it burned 26,000 acres. After that fire in 1924, these elk have never been seen again. Now, the only speculation is they burned up or they migrated to sea. There's no way they migrated down to Benazet because there would have been a wall of fire. That's the only place they exist today. So those are like one of the mysteries I find.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Any questions? I could go on for hours. But.
Well, it was really interesting, and you can read more about this in these books, correct?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook. You can go on elkcountymurder.com. That's also my website. You can go on there, and I have videos of where a lot of people have disappeared. I go out in the woods and I take a video of where they're at. And it gives you more of an idea of what happened, maybe what happened, or where they disappeared, and you can use your own imagination what happened to them.
Well, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Now watch Rocket embarrass himself in a crowd of over 100 people as he demonstrates his call.
Rocket Williams. Here he comes, Rocket. Hey, get the wheel. I didn't think so. Where are you from, Rocket?
What is he doing?
Oh man, Jonesy, that was scary. We actually had a real close encounter. What is that? What the? Oh crap. Oh no. That ain't no Bigfoot, that's a man!
Rocket, how do you feel that we hunted a guy instead of Bigfoot?
Well, it's one of those unfortunate things when Bigfoot hunting, you know, it's just one of those things that just happens, you know.
Wait,
you just gotta pull it together and deal with it, you know.
You mean this has happened before, Rocket?
No, I'm just saying it could happen. You're out
Oh.
there Bigfoot hunting, and there's this, you know, and I really felt bad because I was beating the crap out of him, you know, and he fell on the ground, and I was getting ready to lift up his head, and it just turned out it wasn't the guy we were looking for.
Well, what are you
We weren't
gonna...
even looking for a guy. We were looking for a Bigfoot.
Yeah, it's hilarious, Rocket. So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do next time to ensure that you won't catch another guy?
Next time, well...
Are we even gonna hunt Bigfoot again, or are you afraid that it's gonna be a
Absolutely.
guy again?
No, Jonesy, that's the thing. You can't live in fear. You know, if we learned a lesson today, it's that you can't live in fear. I mean, Jonesy, you saw me fall off of that tree, for Pete's sake. Did that stop me from hunting that Bigfoot, that guy? Did that stop me from hunting that guy?
No.
Yeah, and you saw me getting rocks thrown at me, you know, all bruised up.
And
Did
me.
that stop, Jonesy? It's about me.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. It's about you too. But obviously, I was the man that was getting ready to protect and all that. You know, I had my protection on me and stuff.
Well, Rocket,
But you know,
What?
that's the main theme of this whole episode is that stop me. All the events that happened, did I let that stop me? No. So the answer to your question, Jonesy, if you can even call that a question, no. We're hunting Bigfoot again. We're getting out there and we're hunting the actual Bigfoot. And if
well, how are you gonna ensure that it will be a Bigfoot next time?
you can't ensure that, Jonesy. There are many things that you just can't ensure. But the fact that this guy was acting like a Bigfoot.
Maybe he was used as bait by Bigfoot.
Jonesy, that is an incredible theory, and I will come back to that eventually in the future. But for now, it's just a matter of, was that Bigfoot? Was it not? Was that a werewolf man? Or was it not?
I think
We
it was
don't
just
know.
a dude.
It's probably just a dude, but we can't ensure that, Jonesy. Just like we can't ensure your question.
Oh. Okay. Well,
But for the last time in a while, this is Rocket and Jonesy. We'll see you next time. Okay, so this is just a shout out to James T. Baumgratz, in whom we interviewed in the video. And he wrote a bunch of books that you can find online. And this particular one is called Murders and Mysterious Deaths in Pennsylvania Wilds. Get a good look at that. Zoom in, Gabby. Can you see it?
Yep.
Alright. And he also has a website and a Facebook, www.elkcountymurder.com, and his Facebook is just Elk County Murder. And this book has a bunch of counties in there. Yeah. Here, just... And it just, I've just recently got this book, so I haven't read too much of it, but I am reading it, and I'm gonna finish it. What was your experience meeting Jim T. Baumgratz?
he was very helpful in our interview.
Yeah, he was very helpful. It was nice to meet him. We really wanted to give him a shout out because he was really nice about being in our weird video. We just kind of went up and went like, hey, we're gonna film you and do an accent, and he was really nice about it. He was really cool, and we're glad to have met him, and you know, maybe we'll meet him again someday. And so here's his shout out, here's his book, and one last look.